Hey y'all, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon, I'm just glad that you guys had decided to vibe with E. Yes, the one and only E. Hey y'all, I hope y'all are having an amazing day. Welcome to the first week of June. I hope you all are having an amazing day once again. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for the ones that are not new to this but true to this, hey y'all, what's up? What's poppin'? I hope you all are doing well, feeling good, and enjoying this amazing weather. Today's vibe of the day is dedicated to the Black men out there in honor of men's health awareness. So, without further ado, let's get real comfortable. Hope y'all have y'all AirPods, Beats, speakers, radios turned up, whatever the case may be, so y'all can be prepared to listen to today's vibe of the day. So, the vibe of the day is all about men's health surrounding Black men. So, let's get into it. The reason why I also wanted to dig deep into it because last year when I started out my podcast, I did talk about men's mental health. But come to find out, June is actually dedicated to men's health awareness and not men's mental health. So men's health is in June, and when men's mental health, I believe, is in November. So this is dedicated to Black men, is in honor of all men. But as you guys know, and if you're new here, I focus on everything within the Black community because why not? We need people out there that's going to be able to give us knowledge on our people. So let's get into it. So, so what is Black men's health awareness? Black men's health awareness is a movement to educate and inform Black men about their unique health risks and the impacts of potential care and early symptoms. It involves raising awareness about common health issues, providing resources for access healthcare, and promoting healthy lifestyle choices. The goal is to reduce health disparities and improve the overall well-being of Black men throughout the target information and support. So with that being said, this movement has started many years ago in June. It's dedicated to the whole month of June for men. And with that being said, like I mentioned, it's for all men, but I wanted to take time to focus on only Black men because you don't hear a lot of things when it comes to Black men's health. You don't hear a lot of things on what is the risk that happens with Black men. How can a Black man, keep their self in shape? What's the protocols that they have to do at an early age, and so on and so on. So I think it was very important to shine a light on Black men because, like I mentioned last year when I did the first episode on talking about men in general within mental health, a lot of men do not like expressing themselves when it comes to either their mental health or their health in general. Just being able to sit down and communicate with us at times it's hard for Black men. And as a Black woman, I feel as though you have to be able to hear a Black man out, regardless of what things y'all got going on. They're still human, and at the end of the day, they're going through stuff as well. Like I mentioned within the Black health, not the Black health, the Black mental health episode is like a lot of men are so caught up in the saying, Black men don't cry and Black men don't express themselves. Well, in cases like this, especially with your health, I feel as though it's necessary for you to talk to somebody and stay on top of those things because your health also impacts with your mental health. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. And if you do know a man out there that's African American, you grew up in a household with African American men, you go with one, whatever the case may be, keep in mind that as a woman, you have to make sure that they're good at all times. And you also have to make sure that you're there for them to support them in any way possible. So just be there for them and to inform them like, hey, your life is important from your physical, mental, spiritual well-being because it's a big part of you. So who are the key healthcare providers and community leaders working to improve Black men's health? With that being said, like who are the key people that are able to piece these pieces together for Black men when it comes to their health? Like who is going to be there to help them when it comes to answering questions, giving them tips on how to stay in shape, what to eat, and things like that. So key health care providers working to improve Black men's health includes physicals, nurses, and mental health professionals, specially specialized in the cultural awareness care. Community leaders such as activists, faith-based organizations and local health services also play a crucial role in raising awareness, providing educational and factoring access to healthcare resources that are specialty or specialized to the needs of Black men. For example, a faith-based organization may offer health screenings, health education classes, or supporting groups for Black men, or a nurse might visit a local barbershop to provide healthcare access. So, with that being said, y'all, people who work in healthcare are the main ones that can also give you the tools and guides that you need when it comes to being a Black man. Such as the example I use, like, hey, sometimes churches, they do fundraisers. Every now and then they do the fundraisers and based on health. Like, my mom just told me today that one of her friends, her husband is a pastor, and he has his own church where he's doing a health fair in honor of men's health awareness as well, where they'll be doing free blood pressures, free screenings and things like that. So having those type of tools too to also help you will be one step closer to you to feeling like, okay, I have to take this seriously. Because that's another thing too, I noticed too, a lot of Black men don't take their health seriously. And it's so crazy because sometimes when you look up, even if you look up in your family too, a lot of men die so young because they don't take consideration of going to the doctors, getting them checkups, colonoscopies, and physicals, just little things like that, and just making sure that you're keeping up to date, especially if you come from a bloodline that deals with diabetes, high blood pressure, and things like that. I'm a strong believer of getting them checkups as soon as you can. You can get checkups as soon as you turn 20, 30s, 40s, because if it runs so deep into your bloodline, high blood pressure, cancer, whatever the case may be, you want to be able to get it all out the way, like do your checkups and get it all out the way. So when you get older, you don't have to deal with it, if that makes sense. And if you do, you have the proper protocols and things like that to catch it so it won't get any further. It's better to know sooner than later overall. So just keep in mind also, men out there, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to go to the doctors. It's important actually to go to the doctors because as you're growing, every year, when your birthday coming around and stuff, it's mandatory actually to get a yearly checkup. And sometimes we take advantage of that. Even as women too, we take advantage of that. We have to make sure that we are in shape, and also making sure that we are in good spirit and good health, because you only live once, and you want to live a good life to down there potentially 200 years old. I know I do. So yeah, so just talk to the key healthcare providers such as nurses, doctors, um physical therapies, things like that. What are the most provincial health issues affecting Black men today? So with that being said, basically, what are the health issues that are affecting our Black men today in society? And the most health issues that are affecting our Black men today is including heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, and prostate cancer. Like I mentioned just a few minutes ago, those are type of things that run deep into most genes and most in the Black community. And it's also high blood pressure is one key one that runs deep into, I believe, in every Black community. High blood pressure and heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes, they run a very, very key role with each other, because in the Black community, we're real big on salt, salt, sodium and stuff like that, and we don't really pay attention to it, because also what you eat can affect you. Like, not too long ago, y'all, I ate a steak and it was very salty, and it had me in here like, goodness gracious, to the point where that stuff like that can easily make you sick and you just don't even know it. Like, if I didn't, take Tom's or whatever the case may, what's the acid reflux and stuff, pills, stuff like that, I think I probably would have had a heart attack. Because also too, like I said, within the Black culture, we're real big on seasoning our food. It's like, it's not enough. You gotta make sure it's seasoned to the point where, like, ooh, you can taste all the flavor. But at times you have to be careful too, because it can mess you up real bad, such as with the case, to have hypertension, diabetes, and heart disease, and prostate cancer. So you have to be very careful of also what you eat, what you're putting in your body, and what you're doing. And food, it plays a real big factor because like we eat food every day. And in junk food too, we eat a lot of food every day and we don't really sit down and look at the calories and stuff. And one of my friends, he is very, 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 very into the gym. And when I tried to do my gym journey, it went well because I kept track of what I was eating. And on the app, it'll say, okay, this is how many calories it is. And if you keep eating this, you're going to gain weight. Or if you keep eating this, you're going to lose it. So also, I tell people all the time, so, just try to keep track of what you eat and also be careful what you eat and make sure and be mindful that you got to be sure you can take it and like be careful if you can take it or not. Such as, like certain foods, don't overdo it. That's it. Don't overdo it because that's things too. In the black culture, a man is always on the grill and stuff. They got their special sauce and stuff. You gotta be special. You gotta be very careful because that special sauce can maybe affect you in the long run. So it's just to be very cautious, in the future, within time go by, we gotta be very careful of what we put in our body, especially our black men, because yeah, it's crazy. So also going on to like what's the most health issues that affects black men today, which is heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, and prostate cancer. In addition to that, mental health challenges such as depression and anxiety are significant within those as well. Is often affected by the social and economics disparities that is going on with men. By addressing these issues, it requires a target of healthcare and interventions and increases awareness of safety measures, such as, for example, I don't know if you guys know the American Heart Assistance, the AHA. It has launched a branch called such as Men's Mental Health Month, and it also has Heart Health Challenge, where it's to help to provide education and support to black men who are greater risk of heart disease. So also, like I said too, there's a lot of resources out here that we do not know about, especially when it comes to our black men, because a lot of times our black men don't like speaking up, and it's okay. But at times, I feel as though when it comes to your mental, physical, and health overall, you have to find these resources. And us as black women, also, we have to be there for our black men, because if we know something, we need to put them on game. If they putting us on game with stuff like sneakers, bags, shoes, clothes, and stuff, we need to put them on game when it comes to deeper stuff, such as their mental, physical well being. So there are resources out there that are willing to help black men, that are only to black men. And we have to really navigate as a community, navigate and hold each other accountable, especially our black men accountable, because like I said, those sicknesses I just said are the main things that also affects our black men from generations to generations to generations. So it's like, you want to break that, even though at times it's hard, but sometimes like, hey, it's people are breaking them, like, with prostate cancer, people having it go away and it don't come back no more, diabetes, hypertension, we want to avoid it, and we also want to make sure too, like, we don't get it. So we have to do everything in our power to. So when it comes to your health, you want to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to make sure that you feel good. Like I mentioned to episodes way back, and if you haven't heard it, the health episode, you really have to listen to your body. Like, even though you may feel like you're okay, but your body is telling you physically you're not, those little signs you got to take in consideration, because like, even though it might be so minor, and when you go to the doctors and come to find out it's major, it's best to like get it done right away. Trust me, coming from someone that had dealt with something previously in the beginning of the year, I thought it was minor, came out to be major, but then it was somewhat minor at the end. It's still important to go get them checkups, know what your body can take and know what your body cannot take. And it's funny because also what I mentioned when it comes to food at times, even when I was dealing with what I was dealing with, I'm gonna let you guys listen to the health episode on your own time, 'cause I don't want to get deep into it. It's funny too, when you get older, certain stuff that you fell in love with, like sweets and stuff, at times when you get older, you can get allergic to it, and it can affect your body as well as your health too. So you just have to be very cautious on what you do, what you eat, what you put on too, because it can also affect your body too, clothing and stuff like that. But in general, for our black men out there, you really have to be careful what y'all eat and what y'all drink, because certain stuff is not for us. Even sometimes when you go out to restaurants, you're like, it don't taste like how you think it was going to taste. That's okay. But next time you're not going to do it. So also just be very cautious that there are um foundations, community organizations, all that are willing to do for our Black men. We just have to push them and guide them and let them know that we're here for you and we support you, because y'all do a lot for us and y'all do a lot in the community that y'all just don't know. So we want to make sure that y'all in good health and good spirit, because it's a lot of, like, when I look online and when I listen, like when I look online, my family and stuff, like, it's a lot of men that's dying left to right over diseases that they could have got cured right away if they just would have went to the doctor. I know it's scary to go to the doctor, but it's like, hey, we got to do it. You got to sacrifice these things because you're young. Like I said, you only live once. You want to live to whatever age you desire, make sure you go to the doctor. The doctor is the number one thing. Go to the doctor, clinic, whatever the case may be. You gotta do it. You got to do it. So this is also where it gets to, when should a Black men start regular health screening and how often should they be done? So Black men, I hope y'all listening, y'all should start regular health screening in your 30s. So as soon as you hit them 30s, so as soon as you hit your 20s, I'm sorry, as soon as you hit your 20s, you're supposed to be getting them annual checkups to, monitor your blood pressure, all the things, and all the things impacted with it, screenings and other health, whatever else going on within the men. Same thing us for women, but this is about the men right now. This is not about us. You have to start at the age of 20. It says, get it done, get them regular checkups to monitor your blood pressure, your everything that impacts with y'all. So mainly you have to do, so once you hit your 20s, you start to get the checkups on your blood pressure and your cholesterol. And that's where it comes into place too with what you eat, because like I said, at times Black men, y'all really heavy on spices and sauces, and all that sodium and stuff can mess up you guys' cholesterol, and that impacts with your blood pressure. So once you start hitting 20 years old, like 20, get them checkups. Even if you are in your 20s right now, get the checkups, because you really have to look deeply into your blood pressure and your cholesterol. Even though you're young, you still should get it done. Well, it's mandatory to even get a screening done right away. And once you hit your 30s, that's when you do the prostate cancer screening that are typically recommended when you start at the age of 45 or earlier. And also, like I mentioned too, if you have a family history of this disease, you have to go ASAP. Such as, I'm using an example for women. If in your family breast cancer runs deeply, as soon as you guys are in your 30s too, we have to get screened, because it's a common disease, a family history disease, it's genetic or whatever the case may be. Get it done right away so you can catch on to it. It wouldn't, if hopefully it don't happen to you, but you do all the repercussions on to make sure it doesn't happen to you. So the frequently a screening may be varied based on individual risk factors and medical advice. So for instance, African Americans with a family history of diabetes should be considering starting their regular screening at the age of 25 rather than 30. So like I said, if your family has like high blood pressure, hypertension, prostate cancer, and things like that, is you have to get screened as soon as possible. They say wait till you get to your 30s, because like that's in the middle of your 20s, like you're out the 20s now, you're in the middle range. But like I said, after reading and doing my research too, and also listening to my mom and stuff, you have to get it done ASAP, especially if you have a lot of men in your family that has died from or is dealing with prostate cancer, hypertension, high cholesterol, high sugar diabetes, whatever. Get it done right away, because the sooner you wait, it may or may not catch up with you. So I always believe also too, the earlier you get to see what's going on, it's better for you to be like, okay, woosah. Just go to the doctors regularly, do the regular checkups, whatever the case may be. If your body not feeling up to par, go to the doctor. I know it's hard, but do it. So like I just said, for men, get the blood pressure and cholesterol started in your 20s. In your 30s, that's when you get screening for prostate cancer and things like that. and then all the other stuff. But like as I mentioned, if you have the type of diseases in your family that are like running deeply, like high blood pressure and stuff, get it done right away so you can make sure that you're not in that stage of getting it as well. So where can Black men find cultural healthcare services and support groups? Black men can find cultural appreciation healthcare services and support groups at community health centers, clinics related to historical Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, and organizations like the National Medical Assistance, as well as local chapters of groups such as 100 Black Men, 100 Black Men of America, and Barbershop Health often provides resources and supports to Black men health needs. Online platforms and social media communities also offers virtual support and informational access. Cultural appreciation healthcare services for Black men can access specific health disparities and provide custom care considering their unique needs and experience. These services can help foster trust and understanding between healthcare providers and Black men, leading to a better healthcare outcome and increasing access to help them within screening and early interventions and ongoing support. So there are, like I mentioned, men can go to cultural healthcare services that are such as with groups within the community. You know, we have the brothers community. My professor, he has his own community. He have his own organization. I cannot think of it at the top of my head, but he say it all the time. There's a lot of organizations out there that are willing to help each other, especially within the Black community. You know, my professor, he always be like, he's my advisor also too. He'd be like, my brothers, I got to make sure that my brothers are good, the young, the old, the middle-aged brothers, because when it comes to our health, it is crucial. You know, and being a Black man is not easy. You know, growing up, you know, you see on TV also, it also displays like how most Black men, you go through hypertension, prostate cancer, high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, and so on and so on. Also within the HBCU, I go to Morgan State, if nobody knows. Morgan State also is really big on the healthcare, especially within the fraternities and the organizations on my campus that are based on men as a whole, brotherhoods and stuff. They're real big on their physical, mental, spiritual, emotional health. Especially when it comes to health, they are real big on, you know, giving tips on what to eat. If you go in the gym, you know, how often should you go in the gym, things like that. There are men, Black men out there that are willing to help each other. But the thing is, you gotta be able to take that risk. You gotta be able to take people up on their offer. As I mentioned also to Black women, we also need to help push our Black men to get in these organizations and get into these programs, because it's going to help them in the long run, especially when it comes to their well-being and their health, because you know you want them to live a very long time, and you want to make sure that while you have a good time, you want to make sure that you're healthy as well. You know, you want to feel good and you want to be healthy all at the same time, even though at times you don't want to go to the doctors because you don't want to hear those certain, you know, outcomes and stuff. Is okay, but it's like you rather get it sooner than later. Keep that in mind, sooner than later. Why is it important to inform Black men about their health? Like I mentioned, it's important to inform Black men about their health because it's important to inform Black men about their health, to empower them with the knowledge to prevent, identify, and to manage health issues early. Like I said, it's easy to know sooner than later. Awareness can lead to healthier lifestyle choices and promote medical attention, reducing the risk of several complications and improving the overall quality of life. Informing individuals can advocate for a better healthcare resource and support within their community. For example, some organizations provide health education and screening to Black men, such as free blood pressure and cholesterol screening, to help them identify potential health issues. Black men experience higher rates of diseases, um lower life than other races. So, and it's also to help them with a better understanding to the quality of their healthcare than other groups. And this is which is important to essentially address healthcare disparities that affects them, to ensure that they're getting the healthcare outcome that they need, but even if it's impacting the symptomatic issues such as social economy Inequality and discrimination must be addressed as well as impacting with their health. Public health and social justice can improve by addressing these disparities. For example, providing more access to health care for Black men can help them with their health policies that are, that are needed, and create a support system to help Black men overcome their health challenges. I know that was a mouthful because I'm reading it and I'm reading ahead and above. So just to summarize it, it's important to inform Black men about their health because, like I said, it's better to know sooner than later. And it's also best for them to understand that their health is very important, especially when it comes on the family as well, your different backgrounds. You gotta make sure that, if you have men in your family that dealt with, the four main, the cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, prostate cancer, whatever the case may be, you want to jump on it sooner than later because, like I mentioned, the sooner you know, the sooner you can get it better. The later it's going to hurt you sometimes because it's a 50-50 chance that you can, get onto it, navigate it, get it done, do what you gotta do if you have to do treatments and stuff like that, but you don't want to do that. So I advise Black men to, take the opportunity, do your research, find, even if you want to start your own movement, do what you got to do for your health because, like I said, your health matters. And in order for you to be happy as well, you got to make sure that you are feeling good and you also want to feel good inside and outside. Even though at times, like I mentioned, it is hard, like I mentioned within the health episode when I had my issue, at times within the Black community, it is hard to get the proper health care that we deserve because sometimes where we live at and where we work at too can also impact our insurance and stuff with healthcare. But it's like, at times, who cares how much it costs? You got to do what you got to do. It don't matter. You got to think, do you want to live a long time or are you ready to go? But I also say, like, we never time ourselves. It's always whoever we believe in times when it's time for us to go. Be like, okay, it's your time, but you don't want to think that. So I always tell people, the sooner you get out the way, the better. Because the later you do, it's going to be like, oh, whoa, I didn't know. And, at times it is hard to even want to go to the doctors and hear, because, especially when it comes to, family history and stuff plays a big part in being an adult, especially being a Black individual, because, like I mentioned, we go through a lot of things, such as high blood pressure. That's the number one. Cancer, high blood pressure, cancer, diabetes, and so on and so on. So it's like you want to catch on to it rather than not knowing at all. You can, like, another thing too, a lot of people be like, I don't feel nothing. Sometimes you don't feel it. But sometimes later on, you be like, ooh, you get them headaches and stuff, and you be like, wow, I just have a minor headache. Sometimes they be like, hey, you got this, you got that. And you be like, whoa, how can a headache do that? It's possible, it's scary, but it's like the sooner you get it done and figure out what's going on, the better you will feel. And lastly, how can Black women help Black men when it comes to their health? So as I mentioned, like I said, if you're dealing with a Black man, involved with a Black man, or Black men, period, as a black woman, we can help Black men with their health by encouraging them regular medical checkups and mental as well, and promoting healthy lifestyle choices such as balancing diets and exercising regularly. We can also offer them emotional support. That's the number one thing I feel as though that we need to give to our Black men, because emotionally y'all go through a lot. Like I mentioned too, at times it's hard for y'all to express yourself, and it's okay. But I feel like if you have that woman in your life, that African American woman in your life that you trust very, trust deeply, give her the keys, whatever it is, even if it's your mama, your sister, your grandmother, whoever that special woman in your life is that you trust, please let them be there for you emotionally, because it is hard. It's a roller coaster at times, especially when it comes to your health as well. So you have to make sure that you have people in your corner that support you, as well as, they support, as well as you support them. So when it comes to your emotional support, please make sure you have at least one Black African American woman or women in your corner, period, that's willing to help you emotionally when it comes to being able to help you navigate your healthcare system as well as your mental, and advising you about your cultural care. Okay. Us black women can educate y'all as well and the families about certain healthcare risks that y'all face, that black men face, to foster a supportive and practicing healthcare environment. With that being said, for example, black women, we can help black men understand the risk of existing with high blood pressure, diabetes, and help them with their and heart disease, and to ensure them to get regular checkups and to make changes to their diet and their lifestyle if necessary. But I feel as though, like I mentioned, health is wealth, and you rather know sooner than later. Black women, we should empower ourselves to be there for our black men. Regardless of how much pain and suffer that we go through with each other, you got to put all our differences aside and just think that this is a black man. He's human. And as a black man, being in a black community, period, it's hard for healthcare for us at times. Sometimes it's just so risky and it feels so, scary and skeptical to even go into the doctor's office because like you don't want to hear like, oh, you got this amount of time left, or you got this or you got that. That's why I always say you got to pray on things. You have to pray, manifest. You got to do all you can to make sure that you're living the life that you want to live. And you also have to be a good spirit. Even though at times you can't, you just always have to display good. And there's some black men out there that are really doing that. And you just be like, wow, this man always coming here smiling. He's always happy. He's just always a ball of sunshine. And behind closed doors, that man may or may not be suffering. But you always got to remember, too, you have to understand a person before you get to judge them. Don't judge a book by its cover if you haven't took the time to sit down and read that book. If you don't like it, close the pages and leave it alone. Put it back where you got it from. But if you like it, keep on reading, get some context clues, get some more insights, and keep reading and reading and reading until you understand and like what you're reading, up until you read from the front to the back cover. But that's how I feel when people need to understand when it comes to people. You cannot judge a book by its cover. You really got to sit down and explore what's going on. You really got to take the time to get to know the person, as well as when it comes to us in the black community. We have to really take the time to be there for each other, and also understand that when it comes to our black men, even though they may get on our nerves, we have to be there for them. There's a lot that they take up for us as well. We have to be there for them. And that's why I wanted to focus only on black men, because a lot of people do not talk about their health. It's always other race. And I feel as though black men, they go through a lot more than what any other race does. So with that being said, when it comes to our black men, we have to be there for them. We have to give them we have to give them a round of applause. We have to give them their flowers because they deserve it. As well as we have to make sure that they're here for a good time and a real long time. Because there's a lot of things that they do, they sacrifice, they fight for. I'm thankful for all the black men in my life. I'm thankful for all the black men that I've known as well. Even though we may not still talk to each other, whatever the case may be, I'm still grateful for you because you still have a life to live. And I know you are going to do amazing things or doing amazing things, period. So you have to take the time out of the day, honor them black men, give them their props, give them their flowers, give them their leadway, give them the things that we want in return, especially when it comes to their health, mental, physically, spiritually, emotionally, everything like that. We have to make sure that we are there for them. We have to make sure that we are giving them the same treatment. There's a lot of things that they go through. There's a lot of things that they do for a reason. A lot of men, they say, I don't express myself for many reasons because, people be like, when a man expresses himself as a punk. No, to me, I feel as though, no, you're human. You bleed the same way I bleed when I get a scratch on my arm or whatever the case may be. You're human. I understand at times, as a man, they live by this saying, men has to protect a woman and, they have to do a lot more. But I feel as though at times, men, you can't do everything by yourself. And as well as women, we cannot do everything by ourselves. So with that being said, we have to make sure that we are giving our black men our props. giving Black men the resources that they need, giving them what they need to know and hear and things like that, especially within this case with their health wise. We have to make sure that we're there for them and give them the awareness. So shout out to all the Black men out there. Please, please, please make sure that y'all stay on top of y'all well-being. Make sure you take the time, go to the doctors. Even though I know y'all scared at times, it's okay. If you feel scared or frightened, go with someone or talk to somebody before you go, and pray on it. Pray out loud. I feel like when you pray out loud and you're by yourself, when you hear it, makes you feel so good. It makes all the little weight all off your shoulder. It makes you feel even more comfortable. You feel like you're ready to go. Even if you are displayed with good or bad news, you just feel good to just be able to pray and manifest on what you want to get out of there. Because I understand it's hard. It's hard, but you got to think health is wealth, and you need to know sooner than later. Okay? So for Black Men Health Awareness is a campaign that focuses on educating Black men about their personal health risks and the impacts of their care and their potential care. It helps address and reduce health disparities by providing targeted information on issues such as heart disease, diabetes, prostate cancer, and mental health. This campaign strives to empower Black men to make informed health decisions and access necessary medical care through community outreach, cultural campaign, healthcare services, and support groups. The goal is to ensure and enhance Black men overall healthy and long-term jeopardy. Okay? So, before we go off, before I let y'all go, and I want to end off with this. I just want y'all guys, men, my Black men, hey, to ask yourself these two questions. What steps do you take to potentially help your physical and mental health in your daily life? As well as, have you ever faced any barriers or challenges when seeking health care? And how do you think these could be addressed to improve health outcome for Black men? Okay? It's a lot. That's a lot for y'all to think. I know it's like, dang, now she put me on the spot. But it's like, in honor of y'all, it's June. June is focused on y'all. Within y'all awareness, Father's Day too. So it's like, yeah, I'm putting y'all on the spot because June is dedicated to y'all. So with that being said, I hope you guys, mainly my men, enjoyed listening to today's Bible today because this is dedicated to y'all. I hope you guys take the right potential needs and protocols when it comes to your health. Even like I said, if you're scared, have your bro, have whatever female figure in your life or female in general that has been there for you, talk to them or let them go with you, just make sure that your support system is there with you 100% within everything you do, no matter how big or small the health risks may be, or mental, spiritual, physically, whatever it is. Just make sure that you have people in your corner that's really there for you, as well as you're there for them. And like I mentioned all the time, you know who's there for you and you know who's not for you. And if you don't know by now, you can tell the signs, people are here for a season and the ones are here for a reason. So with that being said, I hope all my Black men out there have enjoyed today's episode. I hope you guys have learned a lot, and I hope you guys take the steps that are needed to make sure that your health is well and to make sure that you're healthy. Make sure everything is good. And if you're on the path of getting to, being healthier, I'm proud of you. And if you're willing to get on that journey or you have been doing it now, whatever the case may be, you have been doing to impact your health needs, shout out to y'all. I'm proud of y'all. Keep going, keep going. Don't stop, can't stop, won't stop, don't stop. Okay? So, I wish you all nothing but the best. Please be safe out here because it is summertime coming up, as you can see. Also, just take the time, if you're having those moments, take 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes out of your day to have that mirror conversation, make sure you're doing good and stuff. And as always, you guys will hear from me next Wednesday. Bye.